Well, there is a major move to fight the rising threats of anti-Semitism across the U.S. Secretary Kristi Noem and the Department of Homeland Security announcing $94 million in federal grants to over 500 Jewish-based organizations. Now, the funding, part of FEMA's nonprofit security grant program, will be used for security upgrades like cameras and physical barriers. DHS officials say the spike in anti-Semitism attacks, especially after Hamas committed the October 7th massacre in Israel, makes this funding critical. I sat down with Rabbi Axelrod from Congregation near Tamid recently, who told me that the temple spends hundreds of thousands of dollars on security, and he's very concerned about the rise in anti-Semitism since October 7th.
The fight against hate against the Jews would morph yet again. So when someone says that they love Jews, but they hate Israel, and you get a little deeper, what do they mean by that? And usually when they go into the territory not of being critical of Israel, which is fair game, but they say Israel has no right to exist at all, now we get into the area of anti-Semitism.
Homeland Security says that the goal behind the $94 million in grants is to ensure that Jewish Americans can live free from fear and violence, and more grants are expected in the coming months.
Okay, shalom. Shalom. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and that by the Spirit taught us His beautiful truth. And just want to say tawada to all the H.I.M and Akwaf that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashim Shai to the best of their ability. This is Achanan the Waf, just coming at you with another quick lesson, praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And this was another article as well that I seen. It says Trump threatens to cut off billions in funding to Israel for shocking reason. We're not going to stand for this. And the reason being is he wants them to drop those charges against Bibi Netanyahu, you know, those corruption charges and all that other shit, you know what I'm saying? So basically, let me see what he said here. He says, it is terrible what they're doing in Israel to Bibi Netanyahu, Trump wrote. He added, how is it possible that the prime minister of Israel can be forced to sit in a courtroom all day long over nothing? It is a political witch hunt, very similar to the witch hunt that I was forced to endure. This travesty of justice will interfere with both Iran and Hamas negotiations. In other words, it is insanity doing what the out-of-control prosecutors are doing to Bibi Netanyahu. So, hey, you ask me, shit, if it's going to prosecute his ass, if you really going to stop sending my money there. You know, but this right here lets you know, too, that, you know, you real Israelites, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you are the biblical Israelites. That land that those people are in over there belongs to you. And the Lord is going to one day give it back to us, man, you know, and it's coming soon. But it shows you that these are the people that are in control of the world. Esau, Edom, the so-called white race, man. Matter of fact, let me get, let's get Job 9:24, because they have the absolute power to take money out of your check before you get paid and send it to these people. And what I've been noticing too in the comment boards when I was reading through the comments, people not with that shit. They like, man, stop fucking sending money to these people. You know, that's most of the comments. They like, well, what the fuck are we sending billions of dollars to these people for every year? You know, so the American citizen is starting to catch on. You know, with a lot of this stuff that's going on, you know. And a lot of those good old boys that voted for Trump, you know, they not feeling that that Israel first shit, man. You know, they voted him in to make America great again, or make America first. They looking like, well, shit, look like you giving all the help and resources to another country. So this is Job 9:24. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? And so a lot of these comments, pretty much people are going in on, you know, like how they can barely afford shit themselves, healthcare and, you know, insurance and, you know, daycare for the kids, you know, and the damn gas, the groceries. People are fussing about that shit, and they like, well, you know, why don't you put that money towards the needy? Because what did they do when Trump first came in with the Doge shit? Elon Musk and this little team went through and found all this waste and all this other shit that they supposedly had been cutting. But why the fuck would you not cut something like that there? You know? You cutting money that was going to all these other countries. Why in the fuck did you cut them programs, as far as Israel? So we know who's running the earth, man. Again, that's that Job 9:24. These are Edomites. And those Amalekites over there, that's Amalek. They're the top of the Edomites. And they're running the world. And they're using America pretty much overall as, their security guard, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Like, here you go. You're going to give $94 million of taxpayers' money to police these people, patrol these people's areas and do all this shit for them when you have law enforcement already. You already got law enforcement. You already got I'm sure extra patrols rolling around these synagogues and rolling around these neighborhoods where these people live. You already got this money already towards that. But this is not for the average American citizen. This should be for every single American citizen. So why is it that these people are getting this extra coverage, so to speak? Why are these extra laws being put in place for these people, man, when you already have laws on the book to handle if somebody assaults someone or if somebody does something to someone? You call 911, this person done this to me, this, that, and the third, you know what I'm saying? Hey, they're going to throw that person in a damn squad car, So why is it that these people get this extra, security, man, over you Americans right here in America? So that lets you know where things are going, man. And these Americans are getting sick of that shit, A lot of these Edomites there here in the Americas, these so-called white people here in America, they really are sick of that shit. Because I was going into the comment boards. But matter of fact, you know what? Let me go back. I didn't go into the comment board of that particular video, though. But let me go in here real quick.
Well, there is a major move to fight the rising threats of anti-Semitism across the U.S.
Okay, so this person says, give me a fucking break. So much for America first. See that? The reality is Israel first, and America can pick up the bill. Yep. This person says they have free health care and college fees thanks to the American taxpayers. Yeah. Right? So, yep, those AIPAC bribes are really exposing the ridiculous influence the Jews have on the U.S. government. And this is why, it's such a dislike for these people. And it's always been that way because they're like cancerous parasites, man. They suck every goddamn thing dry. And people starting to, really realize what's going on, man. Somebody says anything for white people. How's about the fact that every Israeli citizen gets free health care and education off the backs of Americans? They get everything while kids in America go hungry, the sick die to lack of insurance, and college grads are saddled with student loans that they will be paying off for 20 plus years. Yeah, they said your money, and you think but you damn Edomites got so much hate for the real Israelites here in America. Here you go, you were so up in arms about the so-called immigrants, but this is the kind of shit that you should be up in arms about. You should be marching your ass off. You should be boycotting your boy Donald Trump or any other president that supports sending your tax money to these people, man. Why would they do better than you? That's crazy, bro. Yep, somebody says, how's about 94 million to homeless veterans and their families? Yeah. Somebody says, well, we have no obligation to support the Jewish state. See, and this person says that's one way to increase anti-Semitism. Yeah, it is. People sick of that shit. These people are like, nah, man. If you were to give a vote, because nobody voted for this, if you was to give a vote, people would be like, hell nah. Now, you got these dumbass Christians that really believe that these people are the holy people of Israel. You know what I'm saying? You know, somebody, and a lot of these Christians, they catching on. They like, well, hold on. What the fuck going on? Okay, what about the crucified elderly pastor that's anti-Christian? Okay, billions to Israel, all the military weapons to Israel. They have universal health care paid by our money. We do Netanyahu bidding with his wars of BS when we put embargoes. They call out sovereignty and say, don't tell us what to do. Now, the Jewish politicians knew it was in the bill and basically said, only we count. Okay. Yeah, man. Yep, it says it's not anti-Semitism. It's discrimination by any race is wrong. Yeah, man. So we have no money in cutting funding in our educational programs, but we gave money to this BS. See, people not with it. Ivanka's husband is so-called Jewish. Trump is a puppet president. German chancellor is running his head. Yeah, man. People catching on, bro. There are over 500,000 Jews in my city. I can't identify them. So how are they targeted again? Yeah, because they blending in like white people, because that's what they are. They're so-called white people. These are just Edomites, man. That just so happen to fool the world into believing that they're the holy people. Yeah, man. People started to catch on, bro. But I'm not going to keep this long. I just seen that and was like, wow, you know. And it's not surprising because, again, here you go. You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you work hard for your money. And they taking tax money out of your check every week to go to these people that you have absolutely nothing to do with. And then they'll tell you they don't have no reparations for you so-called blacks. We don't have no money for you for nothing like that. You know? While taxing you. You can't make this up, man. These people are wicked as hell, bro. Let me see. I just want to grab one more. Because it's really that it's causing a lot of separation amongst Esau. And this must happen before the Lord's coming. Matthew 12:25, and Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? And they're divided on every level, man. Whether it's just NATO countries, EU countries, within their countries individually. These Edomites are not doing well. They're not getting along. They're, it's a lot of infighting going on, man. It's uproars of the people in all these countries, man. They're coming up against their governments because the people are not, the citizens are not being treated fairly, man. All the money is going to, your little 1%, and people starting to catch on. See, people ready to uprise, and it's going to eventually come down to that Egyptian against the Egyptian, And again, a lot of these megas, a lot of them, they still, they follow Trump to the T, but it's a lot of them, man. They like, man, all right, well, we're going to take matters into our own hands. We voted this guy in thinking that, he was going to get us back on track type of deal. But we seeing now that his interest is for other people. You know what I'm saying? And these fucking megas, these red hat wearing motherfuckers that's got those militias, they don't like this type of stuff, man. They don't want their money going to it. They don't want their money going towards nothing like this, man. So I'm gonna end out there. Like I said, I didn't want to keep it long. I seen that, and I'm thinking like, well, shit, you already got laws on the book to protect all American citizens. Why do these people get this extra shit, man? It's crazy. Anyway, with that, Kwame Yashala and the Baba Ball.